So it is a significant blow to Donald Trump, but the former president vowing to appeal.
Jurors took less than 3 hours to deliver a split verdict in the nearly 2-week-long trial. They found Mr. Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation in the civil lawsuit brought by E. Jean Carroll. However, they rejected the former magazine columnist's rape claim. Mr. Trump has been ordered to pay E. Jean $5 million in damages. Joining us right now, Donald Trump's attorney, Joe Tacopina. All right, Joe, nice to have you with us on Good Day New York.
Thanks, Rosanna. Thanks, Bianca.
So what happens now?
There's about 9 valid issues for appeal. I mean, that's what happens now. But let me take a step back and put it in perspective for you guys. Remember, this was not a criminal case. This was a civil case. The standard of proof, as you guys know, in a criminal case, the highest the law allows in this country, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Here, in a civil case, it's preponderance, which means 51%, a very low standard. The fact that a civil jury found that he did not rape her, I think speaks volumes, because this was a rape case going in, guys. I mean, it was a rape case going in. All she ever claimed was rape. And the jury didn't believe her. But, unfortunately, we have the Trump factor in New York. And it is what it is. I mean, they rung him up on some liabilities, on some, very vague sexual abuse sort of count, which was not rape. And by the way, I think those allegations have been out there for years.
But Joe, let me ask you something. Yep. Donald Trump went on social media last night, says still doesn't know her. Maybe he doesn't know her, but he met her, and maybe on more than one occasion there's a photo of all of them together.
Rosanna, that's a photo like you take a million photos with people. You go to celebrity events. He was shaking hands on a receiving line at an event with 500 people. It's not like a photo of them together having dinner. He was talking to her ex-husband, John Johnson, at the time. You know John, obviously.
Yes.
In the New York media, right? So Trump was with his wife and talking to John Johnson. She was off to the side. That's not exactly proof that he knows her. Right? I mean, that's just the fact that they met at some event, 7 or 8 years before this alleged incident happened.
So what is Mr. Trump saying to you right now? What was his reaction yesterday?
He was really gracious, and he thanked me for, what had been done. He had people following the trial, and, they saw how hard we were fighting this thing. But he said, look, people have said you can't get a fair trial in New York if you're Donald Trump. And I think there was some validity to that yesterday. I mean, again, the rape thing was because you understand this. If he had been found liable of rape, and again, it's not a criminal case, not proof beyond a reasonable doubt, liable is, 51%. He would have been legitimately branded, a rapist. Yeah. That would have been a different fact, a different set of consequences. And I think, so he understands that, but look, we'll be appealing this. This judge, remember, Rosanna, Bianca, this judge has been overturned in Carroll versus Trump once already by the appellate court, by the Second Circuit. He's been overturned once. He's going to be overturned again, in my opinion.
Well, we know Trump loves his money. We're just wondering, will E. Jean Carroll ever see the $5 million that she is supposed to be awarded?
I don't think so. Because, she's not getting it until the appellate process is done, and there's some real issues for appeal. I mean, for example, the Access Hollywood tape had nothing to do with the claims in this case. The Access Hollywood tape is a crude and rude and a bad tape. It's disgusting, right? I mean, and Trump has said, it's locker room talk, and he apologized for it. But it had nothing to do with this case. Should not have come in. I mean, if you really want to dissect that tape, he's talking about women letting you do things because you're a celebrity. That's different than what this claim was, but the judge let it in. They played that tape 5 times during this trial because it creates the reaction we all expect it to create.
Of course.
Look, I told the jury in closing statements that tape's horrible. He apologized, put it in context, but it's horrible, and there's no getting around it. I would punch my son's teeth out if they talked like that. That being said, what does it have to do with E. Jean Carroll's claim? It doesn't make an unbelievable claim believable. But that tape was a lot to overcome, and it really had it's by federal rule 403, which is something that, sort of weighs the prejudicial value of something and the prejudicial impact, it should not have been part of this trial.
Joe, let me ask you, though, if this case was moved somewhere, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, if it was moved somewhere, say, Alabama, do you think this would have been a different result?
Look, we could say Alabama, Texas, Florida, and all that stuff, right? I'm not even looking for a pro-Trump jury. I'm just looking for a normal, fair jury, one who is not blinded by hatred or apathy for Donald Trump. And New York Catholic. Here's the other thing, another great issue for appeal, Rosanna, we didn't even know, or beyond, we didn't even know who the jurors were. I mean, this was an anonymous jury, and that's okay. But the lawyers normally get the names, so we can see, oh, look, did they post on social media 3 years ago, Donald Trump is a piece of garbage, right? We don't know. We look at 9 blank spaces. I mean, there are mafia cases where the lawyers know who the jurors are. The clients don't, but the lawyers do. Here, we were just basically, we took 9 people who were just staring at us in the face. We don't know what their backgrounds were. We don't know what their leanings were, what their hates or dislikes were. We just had no idea, and that's something that's a troubling fact.
So, Joe, should you have called a witness? Should Donald Trump have appeared in court?
No. Who will we have called, Rosanna? Tell me who. See, understand this. It's not a consent case where we're saying, oh, it was consensual. She's saying there was not a soul in Bergdorf Goodman when this happened. We're saying it didn't happen. Who is there to call? Tell me, who's there to call? Our defense in this case was through cross-examining. Who would we call? Someone from Bergdorf Goodman? Say, were you there 27 or 28 years ago on some unknown day?
28 years ago, there used to be a nice little lady standing outside the door, which she can give you like 2. You have 2 packages. She give you a number with 2 to go in there. She sat outside that door.
Yeah, but if we could have called her, that'd be great. But again, we have to say, do you remember on some unknown date, either 27 or 28 years ago, some woman named Donald Trump in a revolving door? Just look. And how do you prove a negative, Rosanna? I could say to you, you stole my pen on some unknown date 27 years ago. You stole my pen. How do you prove you didn't steal my pen? How do you do it?
How is this different from the Tara Reid trial accusing then Senator Joe Biden? And she also did the same thing when she went to go ask and tell people, a couple friends, this is what happened to her. She filed a formal complaint with the Senate Personnel Office. How is this different?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a stronger case, honestly. I really do. And again, here's what happened here. Remember this. It's very telling that E. Jean Carroll didn't go to the police at any time to report this. Because, look, going to hire a lawyer, being funded by the Democratic Party or a major fundraiser for the Democratic Party, Reid Hoffman, going to a lawyer and bringing a case in court, where you only need a 51%, because it's not a criminal case, 51%, sort of leaning in the jury's assessment, getting an anonymous jury in New York County, where Trump is not obviously well-liked, and still have that rape claim rejected says a lot. But it's a lot easier than going to the police, where, the police would do a forensics investigation, they do forensic analysis, DNA, all the things you would expect to happen. Of course you want to expose yourself to that. And the fact that this is not a criminal case, when you're claiming rape, which is one of the most heinous crimes anyone could ever commit, it speaks volumes about the motivations here.
All right, Joe Tacopina, when are you going to start appealing? How long does it take? What's the story?
So, what's it, 8:40 now? So, yeah, about 20 minutes we'll start.
All right, Joe Tacopina, we appreciate talking to you
guys.
today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.